Hey. Hey, Poppy. Hey, 44, 4. 44, 4. Oh, my goodness, you guys. So I ran across something today that just piqued Remain Calm's curiosity. Now, if you guys remember, I was heavily questioning Andy Bernard on when he came into the holler. It was said right before dawn, and then it was said right after dawn. And what did Andy say? That he talked to Candace. That Candace was the one who told him that Summer was missing. Zena, hey girl. Good to see you. How are things going with you? Steven's got a new name. Steven's Truth Show. There you go, Steven. Good for you, buddy. So, remember when I asked that question? I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why is that a big deal? It may not be a big deal to some, but something kept tweaking in my mind, and I'm like, no, something isn't right there. And I'm going to show you why, because I found it. Why Andy Bernard seeing Candace at the bottom of the hill didn't make sense to Remain Calm. Let me drop this link. This is Nature Lover. I love Nature Lover. She or he, I don't know if it's a girl or a guy. I've never asked. Has put out some really good stuff on the Summer Wells case. Much appreciated, Nature Lover. And I am glad this came to my attention today, because it kept eating at me. And I was like, why is it so weird to me, that statement about Andy and Candace telling him that? So, like I said, this is Nature Lover. Let me turn the closed captioning on here. I will speed it up just a little bit. I am using this for educational purposes only. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Poppy. Let me pull my chat up here. I don't even have my chat pulled up. I was going to talk about a little bit about the riots. I'm going to try to do that tomorrow night. Because I've just got so much I got to do. I was surprised I could even pop on here tonight, but I wanted to get with you guys about this because I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay. I have been touching the grass also. I really have. And I'm going to be gone Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and be back on Sunday. I'm hoping I can get a live in once or twice while I'm gone. I'm not sure yet, but I promise I'll try. Because I know you guys miss me. I know you guys miss me when I'm gone. All right, so Andy, let's hear what Candace and Dawn have to say about you, sir, saying that Candace is the one that you spoke with. Now, why is this a thing? Why is this a thing?
She made a mention that Andy pulled up, right?
I don't know what time Andy told you. I wasn't there.
I don't know what time Andy pulled up. I wasn't there.
So you weren't there when Andy pulled up?
No.
Later.
You guys saw him later on? Because she
They saw Andy later on, like about what, 9 o'clock?
says,
Dawn
she
did.
said,
I didn't.
she says on Ziggy's live last night, and we covered it today,
Yes.
that he pulled up and talked to you or one of the neighbors
Yep.
right after you would come down the hill. Really, what I'm interested in knowing is that Jody said that he pulled up, and I like, I need to know for my own sake, like, what was his behavior like when he pulled up? Because she already said that he pulled up and talked to. He said he pulled up and talked to her, and I'm assuming that he meant you, because she was only talking about you the whole time. She hadn't referred to any other hers except for you. So, I'm trying to.
So was it somebody else, Andy? Andy Bernard? Was it somebody else? See, I kept telling you guys. That just kept eating at me when Andy was like, yeah, I talked to Candace at the bottom of the hill. Candace is the one who told me Summer was missing. Candace is saying no. No. So, was it somebody else? Did you get the person confused with Candace? I don't know. I'm just asking.
To ascertain what was his behavior like when he pulled up. It seems to be something that
when I seen Andy when I seen him, the cops were up here on the property, and he come up here and he said that he was looking for her as well. But that was like 8 or 9 o'clock that evening.
8 or 9 o'clock that evening is when Candace seen you, Andy. Not when you first came into the holler, she's saying. So, I'm not saying it's a big deal, but why all the shenanigans about it? Why? I don't understand. I don't understand. Does anybody else understand? Please feel free to let me know.
I don't know from before then where he was.
She doesn't know before 8 or 9 o'clock where Andy was. Wow, that's interesting, huh? Very interesting. Well, we've got 5 days. Summer will be gone 4 years. I didn't really intend on talking about Summer tonight until this came to my attention. And then I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So let's see, Andy, let's hear Andy. Let me make sure I got this right. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Let's hear what Andy says.
What's your name, bud? Chris McDonough?
This is Andy Bernard talking to Chris McDonough.
Yep. I thought that was your voice. I'm pretty good with voices. Well, there you go. So, what do you think would have happened? What do you mean? What do you think would have happened? Yeah, that's one. That's kind of one of them what if questions, Chris. No, I respect that. But there's a lot of what if here. Don't you agree? Oh yeah. If ifs and buts was candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, wouldn't we? That's right. We can all wait for Santa Claus at the right time. Oh yeah. But
chicken shit. The thing is, you showed fear.
You showed fear. Andy, did you show fear? They are, Xena. They are. I mean, what the heck? What the heck? Now, I've literally seen some creators who have came out with some newer content saying that there's new information in Summer's case. I will believe that when I hear it from law enforcement. We can all say there's new stuff in Summer's case. There's nothing new in Summer's case. I mean, so sad. So sad, you guys. I get, you know, it's just sad to me when I think about Summer's case and really all these kids' cases. It's just horrible. Horrible. Now, I was watching some stuff on YouTube today, and I was just really disappointed. I heard a creator who was talking about someone else's kids, calling them the R word and saying that they hope that their kids get red rummed. And that was not cool. That was not cool. I don't understand that shit. I really don't. I just don't. I don't know. I don't like it. I do not like it at all. So what I'm going to do is I am going to play again the behavioral panel talking with Don Wells about Summer's disappearance. I just think that after all this time, I think we just should listen to it again and see what Don says. This is something he said at the very beginning. I am going to speed it up, and we are going to use this as a type of educational thing here. Let me get them when they're talking to Don. Okay. They don't seem to think that Don is not telling the truth, is basically what they said. Okay, here we go.
No, they sent different ones. I've met her before.
Yeah, I remember that she had a weird accent for Tennessee.
Yeah. I don't speak very well, of course.
Oh no,
you're fine.
We're Southern boys.
Yeah, so we're the
I'm
same
trying. I mean, I've been through a lot of trauma when I was younger, and so I had a lot of problem dealing with that kind of stuff, feeling less than human kind of thing most of my life. You know.
And Don, I think the piece that you want people to get is that you want people to know who you are, because the way we talk is, I always say, you'll hear me say, we are what we come from and what's made us successful to now. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I mean,
Don admits to not speaking very well from the beginning. Now, we know that in the beginning when Don talking, he was like, Summer was a beautiful child. You know, Summer was my heart. Summer was this, Summer was that. And, you know, a lot of people jumped on that. When Don and Candace would go on YouTube or whatever, you know, social media platforms they went on, if someone made a comment about something that they said or how they acted in some way, they tried to reel it in. You know, like the WJHL interview. Hey, Rachel, the WJHL interview when, you know, Don made the comment was something, and he was like, I know people aren't going to like that because I used that word. And over time, I really think that was just the way that he talked. I do. But to each their own. Y'all are going to think what you want to think. Thank you, Poppy, for dropping that link. Thank you, ma'am.
A little bit about me.
Yeah.
I was pretty much raised up in the county jails and prisons and stuff like that. That's where I found God, and I feel like He raised me. You know,
Don admits he was raised up in the county jail and prisons. Don doesn't hold back anything about himself. Now, do I think that a lot of these stories are over exaggerated? Absolutely. I mean, come on, you know. But then again, he does seem like he's lived a colorful life, if you know what I mean.
It's hard to believe you find love in a place like that, but I did, and people that had respect, and I found brotherhood, and people that very few, but there.
You found love in prison? I don't even want to ask about it. That is a remain calm, do not need to know what kind of love you found in prison, sir.
There's a few that would, want to read scriptures and do the same kind of thing, and tried to get away from this kind of life and go to a godly kind of life. But there are a few, very few though.
Right.
It's tough. It's really hard. And when you can find that, it changes everything.
Yes.
Forever.
Changes my
Now,
life.
it does seem like when Don got in trouble, right, that, he found jail Jesus. That's what I call it, jail Jesus. And it did seem like when, he I don't want to use the word settled down, but I do think that even though he was still doing messed up stuff, I do think that he was trying to, go to church. And look, this is what I seen of Don Wells, and this is my opinion. You guys can have your opinion. Don always seemed to feel like he was never good enough. He was never good enough. And, we know that he did his drywall job. He was allegedly really good at his job. We do know that his mother wrote a book on spackling, right? So that was a part of Don's life. So and this is just what I see. You guys have your own opinions, please. But especially with the Don and Dudley situation, when Don hired Dudley, I do believe that Dudley got in there, whatever substances he was doing, he admitted to doing them. And, but Dudley at one time had basically his own business. He in Louisiana, he ran a company, or he had his own little business or whatever. So when Don hired him, I think that, Don wasn't going to let Dudley overstep. He wasn't going to let Dudley act like that he was the boss. Let's just say that. So that's what I took of Don and Dudley. Don and Dudley speckling together.
Forever, for sure.
So how long ago was that?
Well, it's been a long time since I've been in trouble. But I've seeked out churches and stuff that, like the Seventh Day Adventist.
I know I've heard you say you lived in Utah, and there's a different animal out there.
Yes.
So did you deal with the Zion Curtain and all that?
Oh man, yeah. If you're a Mormon out there, you're fine. But if you're anti-Mormon, the Board of Pardons in Utah is almost all Mormon.
So if you're in jail there, you're a Mormon.
Yeah, the Board of Pardons and Parole.
Yeah. Well, and I think just living there. But where'd you live?
Ogden, Roy area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Pretty area.
Utah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it and I miss it.
Yeah.
So I mean, what I think is good is to talk a little bit about your background, and I don't mean sometime, but talk about where you lived.
But why did you miss Utah? Why did you miss it? It's beautiful there, but you, from our understanding, had problems with your dad, your stepsisters. It seemed like your family in Utah, wasn't fond of you. So, kind of weird, right?
Where you were, and because that gives people your speech patterns, what's made you you, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I always had really good jobs out there and stuff. But, you know, for whatever reason, my parole officers, they never liked me. I had a job at Hill Air Force Base at one time, making really good money, had security clearance out there and everything. And they showed up out there 2 carloads deep. And my boss come to me, he's like, I can't use you no more, man. It was, and they got me fired. And that's that's what they,
What were you doing?
But when they came and got you, you guys remember this story, right? He's working at the military base and got security clearance and all this other stuff, but yet they come in 2 cars deep to do what? I would think if they came on a military base to get your ass, they took you to jail. So, did they come and get you and take you to jail for what you did? Was it Sonia's boyfriend, right? You didn't like what he said to your sister or how he treated your sister, so you decided you were going to go and basically take a lot of things from the man. And didn't you even try to sell something that you took from the guy? I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm just remembering this stuff.
I was doing construction. Yeah.
So were you working for a general contractor?
Yeah.
I've been in construction business recently. I ran construction for a couple of years. So,
yeah. Just doing drywall, what I've always done. You know, metal stud framing or whatever. You know.
How long ago was that?
That was a long time ago. When I finally got out of that mess, I left the state as fast as I could.
Right.
I haven't been back.
Where'd you go from there?
I think I went to Arkansas. That's where I met my wife. And then my mom got sick, so we come out here.
So that all happened to him in Utah. Then he believes he went to Arkansas where he met Candace. Don't forget, when he met Candace, he was still with Pam. He was still with his wife. I don't know when they got divorced, but yeah.
And,
your mom lived here?
Yeah, she was sick, had MRSA. And so we come out here to try to help her, and she, died. And so, but she left us the property, but we've had, 4 kids since then.
Yeah.
But she didn't leave you the property. She left it to Clyda. So the stipulation was that you were married. So you went ahead and married Candace. So that meant that Pam had already divorced you, right?
How old's your oldest?
12.
And Summer's your youngest?
Yes.
Do you have your kids back? I know you went through some trouble with that.
Well, it got real dangerous at our house because of, and I'm not using that for an excuse, but it did. It got real dangerous because of everything that was happening on YouTube and the psychics wanting to come on our property.
Yeah.
And we was telling them, no, you cannot come on our property.
How are they contacting you?
Through Facebook and stuff like that, whatever, and other people.
I know I never befriended Candace, but I do know that Dawn befriended a lot of people on Facebook. A whole lot of people on Facebook.
Whole YouTube, Facebook thing was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And people were trying all different kind of things. And then I found out, they were making all kinds of fake accounts and contacting people in Utah. And they were saying stuff back and forth. Probably a lot of stuff wasn't exactly true.
Oh, yeah. I remember Frowny. You contacting Dawn's dad. I don't remember if you talked to Dawn's dad, but you talked to his stepmom, right? Hold on. There's a truck going by. Okay. I remember that Frowny did that. You guys remember Frowny doing that?
Or just making this whole thing keep going and going and going. So it got pretty bad and scary for a long time.
That's tough. That's
quite
tough.
a
People
while.
you don't know showing up.
And there was
Talk to
some,
you.
It's dangerous, actually. On
yeah,
lots of
it was
levels.
dangerous,
Yeah.
and I didn't want my boys there.
Yeah, you don't know who's.
The thing about it is, the way that you guys were drinking and doing substances on YouTube and not hiding it at all, it would be scary to have young kids on the hill, because you were already intoxicated, right? And then you've got people wanting to come up on the hill, right? Not a good mix there.
Coming up.
Right.
I live in the middle of nowhere for a reason.
Yeah.
How old are
Yeah.
the boys?
Huh?
How old are the boys?
12, maybe 10, on down to 8, I think.
Okay.
Don Wells, I don't think I've ever spoke to you directly before, but I want to tell you this. Mrs. T, how are you? I want to say this. Why don't you try to adopt the boys back? Why don't you try to adopt Josie back? Why don't you prove that your household is acceptable to take him back? Why don't you do that? Your son is out here looking for a forever family, Dawn. I don't understand. Now, you say there's nothing that you guys have done that they have any reason to keep those boys. Now, I'm not freaking psychic, but I don't know. I kind of question that. Only for the pure fact that so many people were backing you guys, helping you get your house done, to get the boys back in, and if summer came home. So many people were giving their time, their money, their mental space, giving so much to you guys. Do you honestly think that people would have just left you guys hanging with, you said they were going to keep taking you to court? If you did nothing wrong, why would they say they were going to keep taking you to court? I don't understand it, Don Wells. I don't. No, they signed their rights away. They signed their rights away.
And they're all. Is Candace the mother?
Well, there's a gag order on the boys. I'm not supposed to talk about them.
Okay.
They're in custody.
Okay.
There was a gag order on the boys. You weren't supposed to talk about them, but you talked about them with every freaking YouTuber. So don't talk about them with the behavioral panel. I can understand that. But Don Wells, I remember when you were angry that they took the boys, they asked you not to talk about summer to the boys. You, sir, said you got ticked off and you went to the oldest and was trying to talk about the little girl. Summer. Free Willy, yeah. Yeah, they had sufficient amount of time. They did. Hey, Sage.
Yeah.
Hey, Rachel.
You get to
Yeah,
see
they're
it.
fine.
Yes, he
That's
I
can.
mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I went off the deep end. I
Did you?
I,
Oh, I
He
totally
did.
I
understand.
started
He did go
drinking
off the
other
deep
stuff
end.
and just lost it.
Well, I think
And
it's
I'm going to tell you guys, I'm here to say I don't know how I would act. I truly do not know how I would act. I don't. Hey, Bama Cat. From the don't have a clue who you're talking about. Are you? Oh, you're talking about Lori Vallow Daybell. You've been following that? I've been following like 2 or 3 different cases at one time. Yeah, Lori Vallow. Yeah, she's a character for sure.
A hard thing to deal
really
with is,
tough.
I feel.
But I'm back on track. I mean, no
Did you get
drinking, no nothing.
Did you get a prescription or anything for some help to keep you calm? And
No.
yeah.
No.
But you wasn't telling the truth there, Don. You hadn't stopped, right? You didn't stop. You didn't stop partaking of your, whatever you were partaking of.
Okay. All right.
Nobody can make you feel better about what's going on, but
Right.
we want to make sure that you get whatever you want to say out today too. And I know people have asked you your whole stories and everything else. How long you live where you're at now?
About 12 years.
Okay, so most of your kids were born here?
Well, Josie was born in Arkansas, and then we moved directly here.
Okay, so the rest of the kids are born here.
Yeah.
So that's their home. That's what they know.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough on some level for them to go to.
Yeah.
So, and I
Now, at some point, there had to have been love between him and Candace, right? They had to have loved each other. I'm sure they still love each other. But there was something about Candace Don took a shine to. Even having her, from what I understand, in a house where his wife Pam lived. Weird, right? You think it was lust? You think it was do you think it was a, what can we call it? A substance lust. You know what I mean? Maybe they were doing things that made them lusty love after each other. I'm sure they still do love each other. They've been together for years.
I have no idea about your house or how it's set up or anything else. How do you get to your house?
How do you get my house?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean it from here. Don't give me directions. But I mean, you're up a road somewhere. I know.
Yeah. I don't understand what you.
Yeah. So are you isolated? You can't really tell about.
It seems isolated, but we do have neighbors, and then you got the drug thing going on, and where we live at, you got certain groups of people, and I'm not going to mention them by name, but you got these boys, and those boys. They're all related, and they think that they run everything, and that's
these boys, those boys, and they're all related, and they think they run things. Now, everybody got into the conversation of these old boys and them old boys, and, those old boys are just higher class of individuals than these other boys. And, I get it. That's kind of like that everywhere, right? But he talks about the substances. And, that's weird to me.
a lot of people for years have run moonshine out there, probably manufactured meth and other stuff like that, and they think that they are the Bloods and the Crips of the hillbillies.
Okay, so he brings up the math. We are going to call it math. I would think that you had to have known what your neighbor was doing over on his property, because that's the first place you wanted to go, was to Fred Hills. So, and you guys were best buds, right? Wasn't they best buddies there for a while? So that's a different classification of people. Don may not have done the math, but he liked the Coca-Cola, he said. He admitted that. He admitted that he liked it and always had a problem with it. That's what he said. He did say that. So, yeah, I guess different strokes for different folks. But it just sounded to me like that he classified math users as a different kind of people compared to his Coca-Cola and smokage of the Coca-Cola, or however he did it. You know, two different classifications, the Bloods, the Crips, and the Hillbillies. Hey, we could do that, Lisa. We could start a group. The Bloods and the Crips and the Hillbillies. Come and hang out on the porch with us. For real. That would make a good band name. For sure. Lisa gets all the credit. If somebody tries to start a band, Lisa gets the credit. Lisa's going to be our manager. For real. We got the Bloods and the Crips and the Hillbillies. Heck yeah. Okay. So, Dawn, I think I get what you're trying to say. All right. What the substances that you do aren't as bad as, say, you know, Fred Hill substances. Oh, and the Dixie Mafia. The Dixie Mafia.
Yeah, we have where I live. There's something very similar called cornbread. The cornbread mafia.
Yeah, that roast.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that? The behavioral panel are the ones who said cornbread mafia. It wasn't Dawn. It wasn't Candace. It wasn't them at all. It was the behavioral panel. Then everybody came out and they were like, cornbread mafia, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the cornbread mafia, horrible, horrible people. Cornbread mafia, they dealt in marijuana back in the day, moonshine, things like that. I don't know what they're doing today. I don't know. But class, please, I told you before, behavioral panel's the one who mentioned the cornbread mafia.
It's from here to through Georgia.
Yep.
Yeah,
Georgia.
Yeah.
Cornbread Mafia.
And they take that name and that title very seriously.
Yeah. So have you had problems with them personally?
Well, we've always tried to stay away from that kind of activity and stuff.
Oh, did you think it was Dixie Mafia? No, it was cornbread. It was cornbread, Bomber Cat. Girl, I thought you were just adding a new name to a new band. I was going to say the Dixie Mafia. No, it was cornbread. Cornbread Mafia. Oh, and my God. Oh, my gosh. April C. You remember all those freaking pictures you sent me? I'm in this big class with, they're talking about the cornbread mafia or whatever. Remember that, April C? All the pictures I had to delete. Girl, you was driving me cuckoo. I didn't even know you and you was driving me crazy. I'm just saying. Lord have mercy, girl.
And stay in church and stuff like that and stay positive. So I always felt like they looked at us as a target. And we've had people steal our dogs and leave their mutts for as long as we've been there. We've had people.
Well, I think because, how was it helping her? Lisa, let me ask you this. How did the doctor feel? Now, getting Summer's name out there on a national level, that was awesome sauceum. How did that interview help Candace in any way that the Cornbread Mafia wanted to do with her? Because let me tell you guys something. Whether you think so or not, I did not have to speak to Candace to come to the conclusion that there's a possibility somewhere in her mind she came across someone that she may not really be thinking about at the time that could have possibly have done something with her daughter. Ding, ding, ding. Sorry, behavioral panel. I didn't need you for that. All right? I done figured that out. For sure. I lived in Tennessee last year for 4 months, was determined to search for answers. I lived 45 minutes from Ben Hill. I was interviewing the Hill folks there for my channel, but they wouldn't go on camera. I don't blame them, Mrs. T. I don't blame them. I wouldn't go on camera either. Well, I might, but I don't show myself all the time because I don't want you guys to be jealous. I don't want you to be jealous. Jealous of this. Oh, I don't have my light on. Oh, jealous of this in the dark. You guys would be jelly. I'm just playing. Yes, spreading awareness. Yes. The stories they told me. Oh my gosh. Well, Mrs. T, the stories they told everybody. For real.
Come up and just take various things, steal our gas in the middle of the night or whatever. And there's only certain kind of people that are up all day at night, stuff like that.
That's true.
How close to you are they?
I say they're all the way around, but I don't know. I mean, I just know a few people, personally, but.
Is it easy to just drive by your house, come by?
Well, they have to go by my house to get to the one.
So Don's telling us he knows them personally. There's a few of them I know personally, right? Mrs. T, do you want me to tell you about the monkeys in the mountains? From my understanding, and I can pull it up, there was an individual who had some monkeys. Now, if 100 years before that, somebody let a monkey go into the woods, that's cool, okay? That's a good thing. Let them monkeys go. But there was a guy, and I can't remember his name. Do I need to pull it up? Oh my gosh, let me pull it up. Let me pull up the monkey story. Here we go. Hang on. Opens. Bringing in the sheen, bringing in the sheen. We shall. Okay, so. Oh my goodness, let's talk about the monkeys. Okay, here we go. Let me tell you about a monkey. There's been multiple incidents reported in Hawkins County, Tennessee, involving monkeys and law enforcement. Monkeys and law enforcement do not get along. Hey, Kathy, how are you? They don't get along. They don't. So, listen to this. During a math lab bust, deputies were attacked by aggressive monkeys. Can you believe that monkeys that are hanging out in a math lab are aggressive? Can you guys believe that? They're hanging out in a math lab. Of course, they're going to be aggressive. I'm just saying. So, deputies were attacked by the aggressive monkeys during a substance raid. One of those monkeys even ripped a jacket of a Tennessee wildlife officer. Did the monkey get arrested? I don't know. So, then there's neighbor complaints. Reports were filed with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office regarding a monkey in Churchill that allegedly jumped on and attempted to bite a woman. Lions and tigers and bears, oh me, oh my, and monkeys too. Oh my goodness. I mean, what the heck? Okay, so, all right, one jumped on a woman, tried to bite her. Deputies responded to the scene and observed handprints on the woman's car that seemed consistent with the monkey. See, when they busted the math lab monkeys, they took their fingerprints. They did. Then, when the woman called and said, almost got bit by a monkey, they were like, we are on it. We're on it. We'll be right there, ma'am. And they looked at the handprint and they were like, oh my God. Oh my God. We got a monkey problem. Hey, Minnie Pearl. Okay, so, okay, you done got me started. Mrs. T, this is your fault. This is your fault. Oh, Ed the zebra. We talked about Ed the zebra yesterday. I'll have to show you guys Ed the zebra again. He's in Tennessee too. Okay, so the handprint on the woman's car seemed consistent with the monkey. Neighbors also reported that this monkey had been an ongoing issue in the area. The Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency was contacted regarding possible charges for the monkey running at large. They are going to charge the monkey for running around. They're like, we got you. We got your fingerprints. You're going to jail. You're going to jail, monkey. We're not dealing with you any longer. Okay. Oh. Now, the New York Post picked this up. Oh my goodness, no. Not the New York Post. Hey, oh my God. Oh, look at this. That looks like Justin's monkey. Does that look like Justin's monkey? Oh my goodness. Don't make your monkey mad, Justin. Yes, it's going to monkey prison. So, this one is, oh my gosh. The headlines on this are just outrageous. Bloodthirsty pet monkey is going ape on Tennessee neighbors. It's a monkey going ape. What a way to word it. Neighbors in a small Tennessee town are being terrorized by a bloodthirsty pet monkey who keeps jumping on their cars and trying to bite them. During one attack, a woman said the pesky primate, who belonged to her neighbor in Churchill, went ape by hurling itself into her vehicle and trying to chomp on her. Wow, that's wild verbiage. Chomp on her. He was going to chomp on her. Oh, you guys remember that, what was that monkey's name that the woman had for years and years, and it attacked her best friend, who was his best friend? Oh, I've got that, Lisa. I've got beautiful bean footage of Ed the zebra. I'll show it to you here in a minute, because we're way off track, but that's okay. Okay, wait. So he tried to chomp her. The cops were called. They found the monkey prints. Now, a second woman who lives across the street said she recently had to fight off the same wild-eyed primate with a stick. Damn. But that was the math monkey. The monkey snatched the stick. That's a damn aggressive monkey. He's like, bitch, you're not hitting me with that stick again. He took the stick, jumped on her car, and then he went back home. He was like, I've done enough. I don't want to go to monkey prison. I better take my ass back home. Maybe his math lab buzz was coming down a little bit or something. Oh, she could hear the animal being scolded. Okay, so big problems with a monkey. But unless it's a gorilla, orangutan, chimpanzee, gibbon, siamang, mandrill, drill, baboon, or galata baboon, it is not prohibited to be possessed by a member of the public. And they would not regulate. So basically, you can go buy you one of these pretty little things. Ain't he special? Isn't he lovely? Okay. All right. Off of the monkey. I'll show you. Give me a minute and I'll make sure I show you Ed the zebra. They gave him then. How do you know that? How do you know they gave that to the monkeys? Lord have mercy. You should have called the monkey police and told them that what they were doing to those monkeys. Lord have mercy. And don't get angry if I take a comment out because of some of the verbiage, okay? So, yes. That's all. Nothing personal. My Lord Jesus. Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. Now, don't forget, you guys, being serious now, on the 14th, we do know that law enforcement was there because of Jackie Dobbs. I know a lot of people thought that there was a party at the Wells house the night before, but from people that I've asked and things like that, I don't believe that. I do believe that because the cops were down at the bottom of the hill with Jackie Dobbs, I do think some of the neighbors kind of, came down and was hanging around. And you know how, look, if a cop shows up in your neighborhood, depending on what's going on, neighbors want to watch it. It's true. Neighbors want to watch. They want to see what the heck's going on in their neighborhood. So, yes, there was a documentary. Oh, are you talking about the documentary chimpanzee? I can't remember his name. He had a name. Yeah, he annihilated that woman's face. And I'm going to say this. I don't know if Don's guilty. I don't know if Candace is guilty. I don't know if they're both together guilty. This is just how I feel. Yeah, Travis. Thank you, Mrs. T. This is just how I feel. I feel that the possibility that they don't know what happened to Summer or who took Summer, that possibility's there. But does anybody else feel that both of them seem to hold guilt in some way, shape, or form with the whole situation? I believe that, especially Candace. Candace seems to hold a lot of guilt for what not saying she knows what happened to Summer, but you guys understand what I'm saying? I mean, does that make sense? I think Dawn and Candace both knew that there were things in their life that maybe wasn't good for their kids, or something that they did, said, or done, that if they don't know what happened to her, then that would mean if Dawn owed somebody money or something like that, he may, I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my head right now. AKK. But it didn't happen then. It didn't happen then. It did not happen then. Let me see if I can find out. We've all seen pictures of it. Ow, ow, ow. I got a cramp in my leg. I got a cramp in my leg. Let me see something. Hang on. We all know what the house and surrounding area looked like. Now, the thing about it is, because in the very beginning, there were pictures that were shown that the real estate agency took. And it was supposed to show the property that Jackie Dobbs was buying. And it was really weird because the picture, you could see Dawn and Candace's house. You could see part of their house. Did anybody else ever see those pictures? I know somebody has that's followed Summer's case for a long time. For some reason, when the real estate office took those pictures, there were pictures that showed the back of Dawn and Candace's house, I think. It was really strange. And I can't off the top of my head remember where I seen them. But I did see them. Oh, shit. I guess I better share this with you guys. Shame on me. Shame on me. Again, this is Nature Lover. Oh, this is the behavioral panel. I showed you earlier was Nature Lover. No, you're good, Bomber Cat. You put Zanny the nanny in there. And you didn't say Zanny the nanny. Me too, Mrs. T. I do hope Summer's safe somewhere. For real.
Have you ever had any scares before? I mean, around your kids and that kind of
Well, we've had people come up, you know, and say, "Oh, yeah, I was looking for my dog or my horse, or, you know, or various things before."
Were the children in the yard or
Yeah,
during that?
yeah, I've had people come up, you know, on horses.
But they had been there for years. So, you know, Don had to have known of his neighbors. And Don Sherfy Sr. actually had done some work, if I remember correctly, for Don's mom. For Don's mom. Had done some, you know, little carpentry stuff or something like that, right? Hey, Danny.
All kinds of things, you know.
When was the last time that happened?
You know what? Since Summer's been gone, we haven't had nobody around there except for, I mean, we had that one incident with the red truck that got hung up on the ditch there. And there was actually, I asked the police if I could take pictures. He said, "No problem, Mr. Wells." And I was taking pictures of the side of that truck, and some woman popped her head out, and I was like, wow. And she just covered herself back up and laid back on her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he did. Don took pictures of that truck. He did. And so that kind of tells us what kind of environment it was in that area. Especially, it seems like around Fred and Don and you know, probably a few others for sure. But he had to have known all of his neighbors. Maybe not, you know, to hang out with them every day. But when you live there for 12 years, you're going to know who lives around you. You may not hang out with them or, you know, anything else, but you're going to know of them. And it seems like, you know, Fred was somebody that, you know, he kind of knew. I think he knew. I really think Don knew Fred a lot more than Don wanted to admit, right? Dysfunctional neighborhood. That's a good way to put it, Poppy. Yep, we all got a dysfunctional neighborhood or a dysfunctional neighbor, for sure. For real.
when was the last time before Summer was missing that you had people up at your place? That somebody showed up, you know what I mean?
I'm not sure. It's probably been a long time, so I can't really remember. But I'm always gone. I'm always working. And I don't know these people, but I mean.
Does Candace know them?
I don't know these people that what, Don? You don't know the people that Candace was having up there? Do you guys remember when I remember Allie making a comment that it was weird. This is weird because hey Alway, okay, what was I gonna say? It was really weird because Dawn worked all the time. Allie had said, she kind of said about Dawn at first, she was like, I don't think she knew Dawn that well. I'm not real sure how well that Allie knew Dawn, but Allie's mom knew Dawn a little better. Does that make sense? Because Allie's mom had something to say about Dawn, but not there, right? This isn't about bashing. Why would I bash? I've never bashed Candace over here. So why are you coming over here now? I've been talking about Summer for 2 years. I ain't never bashed her before, so why would I bash her now? I think you're at the wrong channel if you're looking for people who's bashing your friend. Okay? Just letting you know. So if that's the only reason you're here, you don't have to stay. But you're more than welcome to, for sure. Think they all hung around together and depended on each other. Well, look, Allie was Candace's best friend. And that broke Candace's heart, right? I mean, it's okay, Poppy. I mean, not a big deal because I mean, I've been talking about this for 2 years, so why be a hero for Candace now? Why are you wanting to be a hero for Candace now? She's been your friend for how long? Which I really don't care. I don't care who's friends with Candace. We don't care who is friends with Candace over here.
No. I mean, all I know is the people I work for, and they've become like they're the only ones I know.
So is Candace there all day with the kids?
Well, if they weren't in school, yeah. You know, but
And you guys got to remember, these guys asked for friends. They were like, come be our friends, get to know us. You'll see what kind of people we are. People who have met Don and Candace, they like Candace. A lot of them don't like Dawn. That's the truth. Most of the Candace fans that I know that say they talk to her, they are not fans of Dawn Wells. Okay? For real. So, anywho, here we go. So, Don's working all the time. We know that he takes trips wherever he takes these little trips to. Sometimes it's just for a weekend. A couple times he left and was gone long enough where, this is from what I remember, Candace sent his sister Sonia one time, and then Robin Lane talked to him and prayed with him, and then he came home, right? Well, I heard that too, Danny, that Allie knew Andy. Yeah. Hey, we don't bash anybody over here. For real. So if I came at you a little hard, it's only because there's a lot of people who come into my chat and say that they're friends with Candace. I'm not saying you're not friends with Candace. I'm all good with anybody who wants to be friends with Candace. So but you don't have to tell me that, okay? You don't have to tell me that you've been talking to Dawn, and you don't have to tell me that you're friends with Candace. I don't need to know that. I mean, good. What do you want me to say? Well, thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in, ma'am. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. I know. I have a resting bitch voice. I really do. So don't ever take anything personal. At all. We do. We want Summer found. We really do. But okay, so anyhow, you know, it just seemed to me that Tim Mullins became Don Wells' friend really, really quickly. And that's always bothered me. That's always bothered me. Now, neither one of them's really telling the truth about how long they've known each other, in my opinion. For sure. For sure. You know, it's a we met gyrocoptering, what the fuck ever. You know, Tim Mullins, oh, I went to the first vigil and Don Wells was standing there and I didn't even know it was him. That's what Tim Mullins said. But yet in a very short amount of time, Tim Mullins becomes this, I don't know what to even call it, to Don Wells. It's creepy. It's creepy. Now, I can't sit here and say that Tim Mullins is guilty of something happening to Summer, but my mind goes back to, you know, just a little vibe here that not a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot of, and I'm not going to give percentages, but there is some really sick individuals in this world who would absolutely know exactly what happened to a child. It could even be an adult. I mean, for real. And they know exactly what happened. They will get to put themselves in a position where they are very close with the family of their victim. I'm just saying. I know it sounds freaking weird. I'm weird. I'm low level weird. Yes, I love diamonds and I love Kathy. Well, thank you for coming over. I hope I didn't sound bitchy. For real. And it's cool that you talk to Don and Candace. I don't think there's anything wrong with people talking to Don and Candace. I really don't. I really don't. I mean, I don't want to talk to them. And it's not because I don't know them. I do not know them people to like them or not like them. I don't. But with me, I have a lot of questions that I know aren't going to be answered anyway. So, you know, I'm good with that. You're fine. No, I didn't say you were a troublemaker. I didn't say you were a troublemaker. Not at all. Come hang out. Chill out. Give your opinion. We don't mind if you give your opinion. We're good with whatever you believe in. We don't have a problem with that over here. For real. I'll tell you what you should do. Well, I don't know. I've talked about Candace maybe quite a few times. And I don't see Candace in a bad light. I believe I recognize things in Candace that she's been going through for many, many, many years. And sometimes when you're a person and life has kind of beaten you down, she admitted to being introverted at the swim hole when she said, I bring the kids here because no one else comes around here. All I have is my kids. I live by my kids. I live, you know, that's exactly what I took from some of the stuff she was saying. She had a lot of pictures of the kids. She took the kids to a lot of places. You seen Candace and Grandma taking the kids more places. I seen Dawn somewhere with them. They were canoeing or something. A picture of him doing that. But yeah, Candace did a lot with her kids. I don't know how anybody could say that she didn't. Seriously. I don't know how anybody could say she didn't. Now, like Dawn said, could something have happened from the Facebook and the, what was she doing, TikTok or whatever social media she was on that she was putting the kids on? I mean, you guys can go back if you really want to dig into her Facebook accounts and all that other stuff. I mean, one thing that was interesting, well, no, it really wasn't interesting.
I mean, when we started getting involved in the Seventh Day Adventist, you know, Robin and stuff, we invite them to go do this and that.
Who's Robin?
She's the one that would hold summer in church all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So they was always going and doing things with the church.
He likes mentioning Robin, doesn't he? He mentioned Robin in the WJHL no, maybe Candace mentioned. I remember a phone conversation and Don was on, I think he was on the phone with Ziggy. I think that was the same phone call that Don told Ziggy, what would you do if you just got your daughter back or something like that? And I know nobody believes me and they think that Don was talking about Summer. That, to me, that wasn't the case. Ziggy's explained that before herself. And yeah, so that conversation didn't go the same way with me where other people took it.
Church whenever possible.
Yeah, other people from the church come over and help.
Yeah, David's been over a few times, our pastor, and David Dotson's been over a couple times.
Does Dave ever babysit or anything?
No,
nothing like that.
No. Well, we let him take the boys to the putt.
Okay, so is Dawn talking about David Dotson coming by the house before Summer went missing? Or is he saying that David has come by a couple times since Summer went missing? Question. Thank you, Poppy. You're so sweet. You better not get in the rain, girl. You might melt. Okay, so I want to hear that again.
So if you're coming up the hill, how long before you can see your house? Is it hidden from other people or is it?
You mean our driveway?
Yeah, your driveway.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of trees and shrubs and stuff like that, but in the wintertime when all the leaves fall, you can see pretty clearly. But right now it's secluded, more secluded. But
now, wait a minute. What do you mean since? Have you asked Don Wells what he was talking about here? Have you asked Candace what Don was talking about here? So that's just a question. Because you're saying since. So you're saying he went since Summer's been gone. But how do you know that? How do you know that? I'm just inquiring minds over here. Well, Okay. And not to be mean, but okay.
Have you ever had any scares before? I mean, around your kids and that kind of.
Well, we've had people come up, and say, "Oh, yeah, I was looking for my dog or my horse or, or various things
Yeah,
before."
that's
Were
typical.
the children in the yard or during that?
Yeah, I've had people come up, on horses, all kinds of things, And
When was the last time that happened?
You know what? Since summer's been gone, we haven't had nobody around there except for, we had that one incident with the
Okay,
red truck
since
that got
I'm
hung up
gone.
on the ditch there.
Okay, I caught it. Thank you.
There was actually.
That's why I replayed it. I wanted to hear it. So yes, since.
I asked the police if I could take pictures. He said, "No problem, Mr. Wells." And I was taking pictures of the side of that truck, and some woman popped her head out, and I was like,
That was the
"Wow."
red
And she
truck.
discovered herself.
Now, when they did the WJHL interview, they hadn't heard about the truck. Remember, they said they hadn't heard about the truck. So that would be the truck that was in the ditch was also a red truck.
Back up and lay back on her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when was the last time before summer was missing that you had people up at your place, that somebody showed up? You know what I mean?
I'm not sure. It's probably been a long time, so I can't really remember, but I'm always gone. I'm always working.
Why didn't Fred go pull him out? I wonder why Fred didn't go pull him out. Don said that they probably left Fred's house, right? Fred, you should have went and pulled them people out. Then that girl wouldn't have had to sleep in that truck.
And I don't know these people, but
Does Candace know them?
No. All I know is the people I work for, and they've become like they're the only ones I know.
So is Candace there all day with the kids?
Well, if they weren't in school, yeah. But when we started getting involved in the Seventh-day Adventist, Robin and stuff, would invite them to go do this and that.
Who's Robin?
She's the one that would whole summer in church all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? I've seen Robin do some shady shit, but Robin's okay in my book. I believe Summer really loved her. And I do think that Robin was doing, even Candace felt comfortable with Robin. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you guys that I didn't finish telling you guys before. Oh shit, I done forgot again. Oh Lord. It went with something. I don't remember. Dang it. Okay. I'll think of it in a minute. You guys know how I am over here for real. Full-size Ford pickup there, Danny. Hey. Now, there must have been room for her to lay down in that front seat. Where was the guy driving? Was there a guy driving, I wonder? What girl just runs their truck into a ditch and just sleeps there? I don't know.
So they was always going and doing things with the church whenever possible.
Yeah, other people from the church come over and help.
Yeah, David's been over a few times, our pastor, and David Dotson's been over a couple times.
Does Dave ever babysit or anything?
No, nothing like that.
No.
Well, we let him take the boys to the putt-putt golf course when all this first happened.
Yeah.
Just to try to help us out and stuff.
How long have you known him?
Now, this is the thing. Okay, let's see how long he's known him.
Well, he come from another church, and he just kind of popped in and got to know Summer a little bit before she got gone.
Yes, he did. Just happened to pop in. We all remember the footage of Summer in the church. We all remember it. It was weird. I'm going to show it to you guys. It was weird. This was weird to me. Now, David Dotson allegedly came to the church. Here we go. Had only been in that church for a short amount of time. A short amount of time. Hang on. I want to get the right one. Here we go. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, here it is. All right, I'm going to show you the picture. I'm not. That summer in church with David Dotson. She's sitting back here with Robin. And she is side-eyeing this guy. You know, that's kind of weird because Robin was up on stage a lot, so. All right, that was David Dotson. Weird. Weird stuff. Weird stuff. Nobody was in the truck and oh, I don't know. You know, the truck in the ditch. Yeah, I don't think it was that big of a deal. But I don't know why law enforcement was called. Why didn't somebody just do the neighborly thing and pull the truck out of the ditch? What if there was a driver to that truck, not just the lady, and they decided they was going to go on and keep partying for a while, and then they partied and forgot that their truck was in the ditch. They're having a good time. They forgot. They left their woman and the truck in a ditch. For real.
And but then he met some girl at some Baptist church and started going, I guess, to church with them.
So
yes. So David Dotson pops into the SDA church. Now, he could have been SDA before, you know, Baptist. You know, maybe he got his way around in religions. I'm just saying. So he pops in, and very soon after Summer's gone, he moves in with a woman, gets a girlfriend, and she's Baptist. So he starts going to the Baptist church. I don't know. Weird stuff.
He would come over and hang out with her and play with her and stuff?
Well, no, not until after she disappeared.
Oh, so she didn't know him very well before that?
Well, she met him a few times. Summer did, and Candace did. And they got to know Robin and everything.
But mostly at church?
Yeah.
Was there a daycare thing at church?
No, I mean, no, not a daycare.
Mostly at church.
No, but they do have their own private school.
Did your kids go to that private school?
No, we was trying to get them into it. Yeah.
They go to public school?
No, it's a private school.
Okay, they're going to private.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they do go to public school.
Okay, yeah, and you were just trying to get them into that private school.
Right.
And is there a waiting list or something?
No, it's,
just,
about money.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I was a soldier. There ain't no money in being a soldier.
Yeah.
I get it.
But they teach them a lot of good Christian ethics and stuff like that.
A lot of Sunday school. How long was the church? How long was the Sunday school part? Like, do the kids go to Sunday school?
Yeah, no, it's Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what do y'all call
Baptist.
that? Yeah. What do you call it? So it'd be Saturday school?
Yes, sir.
Do they really?
Well, we would go every Saturday to church.
So they call it Saturday school?
And that's the thing. They were churchgoers. Even though we seen Candace all kicked back and like she was taking a nap, they were there. They were there. The kids were definitely there a lot. And I think, this is what I was going to tell you, because when I was talking about the phone call with Ziggy, I kind of got off track. Candace in the background said something about Robin being her best friend. And Dawn said, no, she's not your best friend. She's Summer's best friend. And I thought, what a fucked up thing to say to somebody. For real. That was just over the top. Over the top. And like I said, I don't know if she's guilty or not, but Dawn would definitely say things that he didn't care how it made Candace feel. Dawn didn't care how it made Candace feel. Now, do I believe that Candace didn't know that Dawn was taking showers with Summer? I do not believe that. I believe she knew it. He's admitted to it. He's admitted to it.
Is this church school?
Well, yeah. I don't. I just they always say Happy Sabbath, 'cause that's the.
And I do believe that Candace did have her enrolled in school. I do believe Candace was getting her ready for school. I do believe that.
Sabbath day.
Yeah. Well, how long does the Saturday school last for the kids?
We'd be there at 9:30. Well, we got to our first class. It runs about an hour and a half, and then we go to the big room together.
And the kids are separated from everybody?
Yeah, at the first class, and then we all join together in a big room. And
so they have different. I guess you got different teachers.
Yeah, like Robin and other ones that teach the younger ones, and there's a lot of kids there. They're extremely happy.
Did David Dodson ever volunteer to help Robin with the kids? I don't know. I mean, that's just a question, okay? I am not saying one way or the other. I just ask questions.
Yeah. How many classes are there, do you think?
Well, you got your younger kids, and then you got your, I'd say there's about 3 or 4 different classes and age groups.
Are all the girls and boys that are at Summer's age are in the same class?
Yes.
Who teaches that class? Do they have a
I can't remember her name. I know Robin. I think maybe Robin teaches the youngest ones.
Yeah, so she was her teacher.
I think so. Yeah, and that's why she was so proud, to give Robin that little yellow necklace and the bracelet, and so proud.
And Dave was the preacher at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did he ever teach him or anything? He never do
David?
Yeah.
Our pastor?
Yeah. No, you about David.
Okay, you got David Dawson, and then you got David, our pastor.
David the pastor, yeah.
The pastor.
Yeah.
He teaches the adults, like I would go to his class, and my wife, the older.
Very interesting. Did anybody catch that? That they ask about the pastor. Had he ever been around him or anything like that? I mean, wow.
For Mons, and he's got an awesome class. Love it. Absolutely love it.
But never kid. You never work with the youth group or anything?
Not the pastor. I don't know what he teaches in their school.
No,
I'm not familiar with that too much. I've been there, but I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
So who else did you guys interact with aside from the church? I mean, I know you were not home much, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Really nobody, because drywall takes up pretty much all my time.
Sure. Yeah. And you drive a fair amount?
Yeah, up to work, yes.
Okay. How far away do you work?
Well, it depends. I might do a house in West Virginia somewhere.
Oh, gotcha.
Or it might be anywhere. My next house is coming up beyond on Boone's Creek up here.
Yeah.
When the incident with Summer happened, when Summer disappeared, where were you working that day?
I was in Jonesboro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jonesboro, which?
Yeah, Jonesboro.
Wow. Wow. Lord have mercy. There's just so many unanswered questions. But I want to know, Andy Bernard, why you said that Candace told you the Summer was missing. And Candace is like, we didn't even see him till 8 or 9 o'clock that night. That is just weird to me. It is. That is weird to me. But hey, whatever. Whatever. It's just sad that we're coming up on 4 years and there's nothing. I truly hope at 4 years that maybe they can give us a little bit of something. Sometimes if you give a little bit of something, what comes out of it is much bigger. You know what I mean? It's like, give us a little bit and, you know, give us a little nibble of it. Maybe it'll make sense to somebody. There have been hundreds of people who have talked about the Summer Wells case. And I hope 1,000 people talk about it just to get her name out there. You know, a lot of people that, you know, talk about missing and exploited kids and, you know, try to maintain that, put out missing posters and, you know, different things like that. Those channels, they need subscribers and they need to show that people do care about it. But it can become very overwhelming when you talk about, you know, when it comes to talking about children and things happening to children, it can really take a toll on you. It really can. And I'm kind of weird because, you know, I may start joking or, you know, try to lighten the mood a little bit. But, you know, it's very serious stuff. Oh, Snooky. I've been thinking about you, Snook. I've been thinking about you. There's that link. You know you can take that link. Donnie Candace, no, they will not. They will never understand it. Yes, I have been thinking about you. Wondering if you're A-okay. I've just been hanging out. Hanging out. For sure. Not doing much else. Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate you, Snooky. Matthew's my Snooky. He is, he is. So I have to really think if Don was at work that day. I think Don was at work that day. But then again, I have to think, okay, when did he take his lunch? Because of the weird text between Jenna and Candace. I believe it was Jenna. About Don being home around 3:30ish, but Candace didn't see him. That was weird. Okay, that was weird. So, I mean, that dude drove like a maniac. He did 120 mile an hour everywhere he went. That's what they say anyway. So, and then he kept saying 5:30. I thought it was 5:30. It's like, how could it have been 5:30 but he didn't get home until, what was it? What did he say? It took him 25 minutes, 35 minutes. Said he talked to Candace all the way home. Didn't know how that happened. That was Jesus. That was Jesus keeping them connected. That's what that was. For real. But no, people went that route and they're like, no, the call cuts off completely. But then again, he said that he drove down to the shed because Candace had not called him back to tell him that Summer had been found. So did you talk to her the whole way? Or did she not, she didn't call you back? Just weird. I mean, does any of that matter? I don't know. I mean, and I know that they have their personal lives, but on the 15th of June, 2021, I would like a timeline from that morning until it happened. Complete timeline. And in that, we already know what time Don got up. He messed around. He left for work and then he went to eat. He says all that. But the time frame that he has of leaving the house, he would have had to have had some kind of communication with Candace, because Candace had Grandma Candace at the hospital at 8 o'clock, right? It's what a 25-minute drive from 110. Is that what we calculated? And if Dawn left, I don't know. And Dawn went to lunch that day. Why wouldn't have Dawn went to lunch that day? It was a day like any other day. So why wouldn't he have went to lunch that day? Let me tell you guys something. The story of someone being in the holler and trying to touch the kids or whatever, the only reason when that was said that it was weird to me was because Tony Hammond. For some reason, that made me think of Tony Hammond. He tried to chase a little 12-year-old boy in his house. Now, somewhere I heard that, I don't know, but he tried to chase a kid in the house. So then when Candace is talking to Chris McDonough, what does she tell him? Something about Tony Hammond being in the holler that day. Who would have told Candace that Tony Hammond was in the holler that day if she was gone all day? So who would have been there to tell her that? I don't know. I'm just asking. Just questions. Just weird. And then Marlene is saying that Tony Hammond allegedly was trying to break into her car. He tried to get in her car. That's what she said. Just weird. Weird stuff. Well, I get what you're saying, Danny. I get what you're saying. Who drives away? Who drives miles away to look for a child that went missing 2 to 5 minutes? I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think, this is just my opinion. I don't think Summer was gone only 2 to 5 minutes. This is one thing that is in my heart. I could be wrong. I honestly believe that they came back, Grandma went and laid down, and somehow Candace went and told the boys to keep an eye on Summer because maybe she was going down the hill. And when she got back, Summer was gone. Because you got to remember, I mean, there's just so many different, my mind goes 1,000 different directions. When you don't even have anything to, nothing. 4 years of people going over interviews and, you know, everything, and just taking everything and just picking at it and trying to make sense of it, and, you know, see what questions that we might ask that, you know, may not even be relevant for real. There's been hundreds of people who have done that. You can Google Summer Wells and you wouldn't believe the content that comes up, and the theories and the opinions, and, you know, hang on, you guys. Okay. So, but yes, Don was allegedly at work in Jonesboro, and the weird thing about that is because he said that his boss, that he's seen his boss that day and other people, other guys. But then Don got mad at his old boss. Well, number one, he ended up getting fired, they said, or whatever. And from my understanding, he got pissed off at his old boss because his old boss wouldn't vouch for him or something. Now, I don't know what they ended up. It was horrible. That was when they were laughing about Don saying something about a video and his old boss and Summer. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. So he was mad at him for something. I don't know exactly what it was, but it could have been because he was fired. But from this is just what I heard. This is just hearsay. Don was asked by Tucker Drywall to not be on the internet while he was at work, and he kept getting on the internet. So that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but, you know, could be.
Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't know this area very well.
Yeah.
How far away is that from home?
Well, it takes 45 minutes to get from there to my house.
Okay.
And so up 81 all the way, and that's where I was working. And previous to the day someone come up missing, I fired a guy because he was extremely out there.
So he's talking about Dudley. Don started talking about Dudley immediately. He really did. He did. You know, it was going down to Fred's and Dudley. But you got to remember, Dudley admitted to doing math when he was working with Dawn, if I remember correctly. And so Dawn immediately mentions Dudley because he was doing that. Plus, he fired him, right? And then Dawn goes right to Fred Hill, wanting to go kick doors down, right?
What's he doing?
Yeah.
It was just out there.
What kind of out there? I mean, I know you got to be careful.
I think math.
Okay.
I can't prove it.
Did he take that well?
No, he was extremely mad.
Did he know where you lived?
Yes.
And have you heard from or seen him since?
No. Our investigators have talked to him, and he's talked, I guess pretty well. But I mean, the day after Summer come up missing, he called my boss and he was crying and saying some really oddball things. My boss has a really good memory, so he remembered every word of it.
Like, what was he saying?
Like, my kids, let's see, the Hills have eyes. I got too close to that family. What was the others? I got too close, and my kids can't see me in the back of a police car again. See, he worked for us 7 years prior, and he went through all the different crews. And he worked with me for a while, and it's kind of the same thing happened.
How old is he?
He's like 36 now, I'd say, something more than there.
Now, just to let you guys know, Dudley admitted to doing those horrible substances. Actually, he ended up going to jail. I don't know if Dudley's in jail right now or not. But Dudley, and I believe it was because he was, doing the substances, decided that he was going to go on a live stream on a creator's channel. Dawn came up there and they confronted each other. It was interesting, but Dudley was wanted. He had a warrant out, and he went to jail. What is up? What is up with these people who have warrants and stuff out and they just go right on YouTube? It's like, hey, law enforcement, here I'm on YouTube. I can guarantee you, law enforcement knew he was going to be on that live stream before he even got on the live stream. I bet you.
You don't know where he is, huh?
I know where he is.
Yeah.
He'd been to your house with you?
Well, yeah, I had him come to my house and park his vehicle so that we could ride together all the way out past Chucky, way out there somewhere past the airport, way out there in farmlands, way out there, yeah. So we rode together way out there and done a little house and rode back. But I just noticed he started getting irritated and just every little thing. This man, I give him 50%. Who does that? Give him 50%, and all he has to do is show up every day. Mm-hmm. And he starts, coming up with excuses why he can't make it to work and stuff, and giving me trouble. And then the day I fired him, he was, doing a pan like that there. Okay. Mm-hmm. And
okay,
he spent probably 2 hours on it. The only one I can remember is hyperactive.
Sure.
But yeah.
Now that always gets me, and I'm going to end this here tonight. That always got me that Don acted like he had to write down the symptoms of someone doing that substance. That always cracked me up. It did. But we will definitely finish this out. Anything else? I'm weird. I always ask a lot of questions and I usually don't get the answers. But I do go back and listen. If I don't understand what they said, I will go back and listen again. On a good day, you may hear something 4 times with me trying to figure out exactly what they're saying. That's just how I roll. And Matthew is my Snooky. I'm telling you. I've been watching you. I just hadn't been able to come in chat. I'm watching you. But I'm not going to say Don and Candace are guilty or innocent of anything. But I do think that they both do hold some guilt. What parent doesn't have some type of guilt over maybe, something with a child? For sure. I mean, Dawn even said that Summer didn't want to be around Candace till she was like 18 months old. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's a long time not to want to be around your mother. And if you were going to work every day, Dawn Wells, then who was mothering Summer? I mean, weird. Now, Jody said the CPS had been involved many times over there. That's what she said. CPS had been involved many times over there. You know how Jody talks. I do want to apologize to Jody. I will do this on my channel because I know that, Nick come up here and hollered at her, and then Tiffany Marie started hollering. And believe me, I have been the victim of being hollered at. And it's like a WTF moment, ma'am. I totally get it. So I do apologize. I will apologize for that because it is my channel. I will take accountability. I will. Whatever it is, I'll take accountability for it if I really did it or if I said it. But other than that, hell no. I ain't taking accountability for nothing that I ain't said or nothing I ain't done. Not me. All right. Well, I had a different live scheduled, but I came upon that Candace saying that she didn't see Andy until like 8 or 9 that night. And Andy come up and said that he was helping look for her, I guess, is what she said. So why did you say you was coming in the holler and you seen Candace? Andy? You got in the holler, right? Was it a little bit before dawn or after dawn? I don't know. I think I've heard two just different versions on that. Well, it is a cute emoji, little Deb. I don't know what the fuck it is, but cute. You're fine. You are fine. I know they don't think people will find out they got a warrant. I know. It's like I could give them all some advice. Don't do it. Law enforcement will come and get you. They will know right where you're at, as they did with Dudley Ajon. And I'm sure his wife, didn't he leave his wife leaving? Yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. It's really not my business. But they had kids too. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. That's the sad thing about it. There was so many freaking... there was not good people around summer. I mean, there was some good people, but I don't know, y'all. I don't. But I am going to get my butt off here. I've been on here 2 hours. I got so much stuff to do. I just had to take a break. I've been pretty busy the last couple days. I'm going to be way busy too. But like I said, I am going to try to pop on. I watch Matthew on my TV. His wife split. Well, I mean, you can go over to Shares and watch Dawn and Dudley. Dawn and Dudley. But I don't know. I don't know. I think if Dudley would have been in the area in that bright ass yellow vehicle, they would have known it. Somebody would have had to have seen it. I mean, for real. All right, my butt's getting off here. You guys know we're pretty good over here. Anybody can come over here, give your opinion. It's an open conversation always. We don't know what happened, so I just like to look at things and ask questions. And, you know, sometimes when you go back to listen to specific things, you know, they mean a little bit different as per se watching it, you know, 4 years ago. So always interesting. But thank you guys for hanging out. I'm going to get off here. Appreciate you. And y'all have a great night. Thank you, Zena, being a member for 9 months. Thank you, lady. Thank you, guys. I do appreciate you guys. So, yes, I will try to schedule. Well, the thing with my lives, I can schedule them, but nobody gets a freaking notification. Nobody ever gets a notification. Hey, Poppy, thank you. Poppy approved. That's all that matters. For sure. But no, I do want to say this. If anybody who comes into my chat telling me that they're friends with Candace, you don't have to tell me that. Okay? Anybody who's friends with Dawn and Candace both, you don't have to tell me that. Okay? Only because that's your business. And I'm not going to ask you anything that Dawn or Candace has ever said to you. I'm not going to ask you those questions. And that's not to be a bitch, for real. That's not to be bitchy. That's just the way I am. So, those are your friends, girl. You hang with them all you want. So if I did, I do. I have a resting bitch voice, and especially when I'm tired. And I'm kind of tired right now. But no offense. Come and hang out anytime you want, for real. For real. We enjoyed having you. For sure. Great conversation. It was a really good conversation. I think, anyway. We'll go in more in, You know, guys know I have OCD, so I'm going to have to finish that. So we'll do it next time. We will do it next time. Oh, thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate you. Yeah, thanks you guys for popping in. I ain't seen some of you guys for a while. Always enjoy having you. You know that. Okay. Thank you, Poppy. I appreciate you. And thank you guys in chat for being super cool with each other. That means a lot to me. And I know it means a lot to Poppy and my other mods because they get to enjoy the conversation along with everybody else without having to spending the time blocking a bunch of people and, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, we like to hang out on the porch over here and just be ourselves and you know, say what we mean and mean what we say. So, all right. Peace out. Adore